Now let's talk about power bills. They're certainly not going down anytime soon. PGE customers have been through nearly 2 billing cycles since the utility increased rates by 18% at the beginning of the year. But for you Pacific Power customers, the 800,000 households in Washington, Oregon, and California, get ready because you're next. This month, the utility filed for a rate increase of 16.9%. If approved by the Oregon Public Utility Commission, it would take effect in 2025. The company says the average residential customer would see an increase of nearly $30 per month. They say the $304 million generated from the increase would go towards wildfire risk management, transmission infrastructure, and renewable energy projects. Those wildfire expenses would be things like vegetation management around power lines, paying higher wildfire insurance premiums, and creating a so-called catastrophic fire fund, another tool to manage wildfire risks. Now, some of you may be thinking, hold on, wasn't Pacific Power just found responsible for some of the Labor Day wildfires in 2020? And are we now paying the price for that? It is true that Pacific Power will likely end up being forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in wildfire liability, but the company is not unilaterally allowed to raise rates to pay for that. Months ago, Pacific Power filed to open the door to this possibility down the line, but it was immediately met with a challenge from an advocacy group and ratepayers alike. Here's Mike Getz with the Oregon Citizens Utility Board, who I talked to at the time, saying Pacific Corp should not be allowed to pass wildfire lawsuit costs on to customers.
There is the, I'll say, slim potential for those costs to be included in customer rates, which would put upward pressure on customers' bills. But again, we're fighting that proceeding, and we don't think that there's precedent for those types of costs to be included in rates. And we're optimistic that the commission will deny cost recovery when the company comes in and requests it.
Now, that doesn't mean the company can't raise rates for other wildfire-related things, and that's what we're talking about here. Any rate increase so far is not set in stone just yet. The Oregon Public Utility Commission will take a look at Pacific Power's filings, and of course, the Oregon Citizens Utility Board will be looking at the documents as well to try and blunt that increase as much as possible. When it comes to wildfire mitigation costs, there's going to be a detailed look at what's prevention and what's reaction. For its part, Pacific Power's VP of Regulatory Policy and Operations wrote, while our essential operating costs remain low, extreme weather events and increased wildfire risks are impacting all households and businesses, raising the costs of providing our essential services. Now it's your time to chime in. These rate increases feel more and more common lately. Do you just grit your teeth and deal with it? Are you understanding? Are you looking for alternative sources of power? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail 503-226-5090.